Thank you, and go Blue.
Hi, I'm Anna Bowie. I'm the Director of Ceremonies for this year, and today we have some special guests with us to talk about and share their stories. So, more than welcome to introduce our very special guest today, Katie Palermo. She's 18 years old, and she has an awesome story to tell. So, give her a round of applause.
Hi, I'm Katie Palermo. I am a two-time leukemia survivor, and I have my story to tell. So, 5 letters, 1 word, thousands of types, millions of emotions. My ears had been infected with the word that every living being dreads, cancer. My head was hit with a train while my heart dropped to my stomach. Words were caught in my throat. I was choking on the words I wanted to say, but they wouldn't come out. I was being suffocated by my own thoughts. Tears again rolled down my cheeks for the second time that day, but this time they came down much faster, and there were many more. You could say I was one of the examples of a patient going through the classic stages of grief. When humans experience life-threatening events, they go through 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial. The doctors probably have the wrong blood test. I bet they mixed my blood up with someone else's. 2, anger. Why me? This isn't fair. I'm 12. People my age don't get cancer. Ugh, blood is so gross. I hate needles. Why can't they find blood any other way than jabbing me in my veins? Bargaining. If you take away the cancer now, I'll make my bed every day for the rest of my life. I'll even clean the dishes too. Depression. This sucks. Am I gonna die? I'm going to be so ugly bald. The kids at school will probably make fun of me. Should I even go out in public? Will my friends still like me? Acceptance. Okay, this really sucks, but this is my life now. I got to deal with it. I'll make it through. I just have to accept it and do whatever they want me to do, even if it hurts or if I don't like it. We can't do anything else about it other than treat it. E. coli infections and plummeted blood pressure introduced me to my first month of chemotherapy. Days in the ICU, unable to drink, eat, or move while my body recuperated from the sudden drop. Every 15 minutes, my arm would be squeezed to take my blood pressure. While my time spent in the ICU seemed like weeks, it was only a few days. A few days immobile can do more than one expects. 20 pounds came off my already failed 5'3" body, along with losing the ability to walk by myself. The worst came out in the beginning, and the rest of my 2 years in treatment were minor compared to the first few weeks. Medically, that is. Socially, there were many rough patches, but I didn't expect middle school to be a smooth ride anyway. Middle school pretty much sucks for everyone, and especially me. The whole self-image factor comes into effect, and mine wasn't looking too great. Bald, severely underweight, and pale as Casper. That is how I walked into my first day of middle school. Although it seemed like it never ended, I graduated middle school, and then soon enough I was done with chemotherapy. October 2013, I finished chemotherapy, we threw a huge party, and sighs of relief came from my friends and family. It was time to focus on my freshman year of high school and not to worry about cancer anymore. I entered high school sparingly telling people about my past with cancer. In middle school, I was known as the cancer kid, and I didn't want to keep that reputation with me for the next 4 years. But wow, that didn't last long. December 2014, my family and I embarked on my Make-A-Wish trip to Bora Bora, Tahiti, and I had the flu a few days before but thought nothing of it. Small bruises appeared on my body, thought nothing of it. I was going to Bora Bora. I didn't have time to think about those things. I'm a klutz, probably got the bruises from running into things. A nasty flu was going around, and I was still immune suppressed and was probably going to end up getting it one way or another. Everything had a cause, so we happily flew 8 hours to Tahiti, ready to explore the new tropical territory. The trip was amazing. The water was warmer than bath water, snorkeling was unreal because the water was crystal clear, and the numbers of tropical fish just a few feet from shore were amazing. The more and more active we became, the more and more I became bruised and fatigued. We finally decided something was up. After calling my doctor back in the States, she told us to get a blood test to make sure all is okay. There is one problem. It was a Saturday, and we wouldn't get the results until Monday, which was the day we left back for home. We went for a blood test in town anyway, after being poked with a needle and insulted from being asked if I was always this pale. We set back to our hut over the water because we became impatient and decided to take a flight from Bora Bora back to the main island to get quicker results on my blood test. The hospital in Tahiti made me appreciate the U.S. health system. There was no security, no ID bans, no toilet seats, no soap, minimal English spoken, and only water with breakfast and dinner. Every meal consisted of bread. Breakfast, baguette. Lunch, another baguette, but with some jam. Dinner, mystery meat. Oh, and a baguette. For what seemed like hours, and probably was, my blood test came back. It was just my mom and I in the room. The words, "It is back," hit me like a semi-truck. This, again, I was a sophomore and I made it 1.5 years as an undercover cancer patient, and there was no way I could keep this under wraps. My white blood cell count was extremely high while my red blood cell and platelets were really low. I wasn't allowed to leave the country until I had restored my body with the levels to safely fly. After a few hours in the hospital, I was pumped back with blood products and we were ready to get the heck out of there. We finally got home and I had 2 hours to shower and pack for an unknown length stay at Ann and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital. After long hours in planes, I prepared myself to battle this awful disease again. I had already lost a friend to a brain tumor in September, and another had recently stopped treatment for her relapsed brain tumor. I wasn't ready to end my life, so I chose the only option I had, which was to fight. This time, chemo wouldn't be the same though. We couldn't do the protocol that was previously followed because that didn't work out clearly. Fertility also became a factor to consider. We were told the first time that my fertility would not be affected, but this time measures needed to be taken to preserve it. I had an ovary removed to keep the possibility of having biological children in the books. I was told this round would take 2 years to complete. I took that in and buckled up for another ride on the chemo coaster. Well, those 2 years of chemo ended January 7th, 2017, when I took my final oral chemo dose. I didn't let cancer slow me down one bit. I'm graduating along with my peers and will be continuing my education as a Michigan Wolverine in the fall. While some may say that cancer is a horrible experience, I agree with that part. But without my diagnosis and relapse, I wouldn't have found my passion. Thank you.